We're on with our next episode for CyberTalk podcast. My name is Juliana. I am the host of the Raices CyberTalk podcast. And on with us, we have my friend Filipi Pires. So I will let him introduce himself very quickly and then we can get started. Welcome, Filipi.
Hello. How's it going? Doing good from my side. How's it going from you?
Good, good. A long time no see, but actually just kidding because we just saw each other in March at RSA. So that was lovely.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. But I hope to see you again in June, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I think so too.
Oh, nice, nice. Thank you. Thank you again for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be here to talk with the Raices people and to talk more about cyber stuffs. And that's thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And for those of you guys that don't know, the way we are structured is we record an episode prior to this live Q&A, and those are posted in our YouTube channel. So you can go watch that after if you haven't seen it yet. We advertise those the first week of the month, and then with our guests, we have another recap at the end of the month, which is what this is, a Q&A, and sort of a little update session. So Felipe was very gracious to raise his hand when I reached out last year and we recorded an episode. And I think we had one of the longest episodes together, Felipe, because we both like to teach a lot, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's where a lot of your journey started in cybersecurity. Um, I want you to really quick talk about what you do now, a little update, because when we last recorded the episode, uh, you did something else, right? So there is a little life update, and you also have some other things going on, and we can go into
Yeah.
those as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that's nice. And I'm working at Scythe. It's a unicorn company. Cool.
Hey, that's a cute
Actually,
logo. I'll
yeah,
give
it's
you
a good
that.
one. Yeah, exactly. So my previous company actually I was working at Segura, which is a company focused on identity. And that time I was a threat researcher and I was leading the identity threat labs. And yes, actually, in the beginning of this year, I moved and for this company, Scythe. So probably many people are familiar with Bryson Bort, which is the founder of Scythe. So basically, Scythe is a company responsible for providing a platform solution about AAV, which is adversary exposure validation. Let's say it's a kind of evolution of BAS solution, which is another acronym, which means BAS, which is breach attack simulation. And usually, breach attack simulation is more focused on post exploitation, which is when the attacker get inside of the environment and they can, move laterally and explore internally. But when you talk about adversary exposure validation, is to track in multi-stage attack and to see everything how it works and how it works in the attacker perspective, let's say, and emulation APT groups, emulation IOCs, or even TTPs, which means tactics and procedures, or tactics and procedure from MITRE ATT&CK. And basically, I'm the head of technical advocacy, which is a beautiful name. And
Yes.
for my wife, by the
What
way,
does it
yeah, that's
mean?
another another curiosity, because if you don't know, my wife, she's called Anna Pires, and she's a head of
Oh,
sales at Scythe. So we work together. Yeah, that's a
oh,
very
that's
different
sweet,
for us,
man.
but not for us, for the most people, but for us, it's very normal, let's say, because we met at Dell Computer 13 years ago. And when we met, and we were a colleague actually in that time, in the past. And after that, we worked together. And when I moved to Trend Micro, she worked together with me at Trend Micro as well. She was a sales there, and I was a technical guy there. And we found a company in the past, and we sold this company. So let's say we work together very well, and we have now we are working at Scythe, and we responsible for leading the EMEA region, which is Europa, Africa, and Middle East, and slash APAC, which means Asia Pacific. And we work as well in Latam, which is whole Latin America, including Brazil. So actually, we just not working with US and Canada, which is North America. I mean, no, I'm helping the team in US, Canada as well. So in my case, I'm globally, let's say.
Got it. So next episode, Anna is gonna be on.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
good. I think
She
she's very humble
yeah,
about her background, so we're
yeah.
gonna expose her. So Felipe, in comparison to what you did earlier in terms of role, evangelism, technical advocacy, is it sort of the same scope that you have now? I remember you were doing research earlier. You were
Mhm.
speaking at a lot of conferences representing the company. Did anything change, or just the domain you're sort of representing now at Scythe?
And actually, I have two different things. So I record some podcasts in the past, and the people publish it there, and then Loritza, including, reposted. And I have an experience, what I had actually in sales in the past. This is my background. I was graduated in process management, and when I was working at Dell Computer a few years ago, I was as account manager there. Based on that, my profile is quite hybrid.
Yeah.
And in talking about my role, so that's interesting because when I work at Segura, my main role was to be a threat research, as I said, leading this threat research team, doing investigations and publishing articles. And because of that, I share that knowledge, man, in the conference. Uh, so it's the second, let's say, the secondary goal, or I mean, the role, talking conference. But because I had the content, I publish in articles and talking conference. That was my previous role. Now at Scythe is quite different because my main role here is to be the leading the technical advocacy in the area. But basically, my main goal here is to spread the message about the Scythe in that region that I mentioned, and doing through the doing demonstrations of the product and doing POC, which is proof of concept, or POV, proof of value, and I work together with Anna, and she's responsible for selling the product, and I'm responsible for make this happen in the technical way, let's say.
Yeah.
And but I like to make investigations, so based on that, I read a specifically attack that happened in the beginning of March, which is from the APT group called APT 28. They use a specific technique, they call it bed pound. And they embedded and specifically loader inside of the picture, which is a kind of cat, and they call it Mew Mew. And that picture using the steganography technique. Yeah, that's curiosity, and it's very nice. So what I
Mm.
did, I made the whole investigation on that threat actor, and I publish how you can emulate this attack. So it's not my main role, but I
Right.
like it. So I like to teach. So based on that, I creating a proper article in two ways. One is more like an open source perspective using open source tools. And I
Yeah.
put in my website, filipipires.com. You can go below and can see the articles there. And I publish in another version how you can build in that in the site perspective, which is very easy. You can do the same attack. That if you do like to reproduce the same attack in the open source, you need to spend 4 or 5 hours if you have enough knowledge, man, to build in that attack. But for, let's say, site perspective, you can use in the platform. Of course, it's just more for companies. You can do this in 5 minutes, less than
Okay.
5 minutes. So I building that. So as I said, it's not main role, but I like it. So they they give me this freedom to do that. That's very nice.
Very important. And I mean, I don't think any of us has like roles that is very cutthroat, especially into today we have to wear many hats. And I think looking at your trajectory and what we talked about in our last episode, the one skill that you have is like your flexibility and adaptability that you will, even if you don't know it yet, you will learn it. I mean, we talked about from your days in Brazil, your first job selling at the age of 10, and you can tune into
Uh,
the episode to find out what the first thing Felipe sold was, because we're not going to say spoil it here, but I thought it was
yeah,
fascinating.
that's true. We talk about that. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
remember.
so oh
Yeah.
yeah, I got a lot of information on you. So
Yeah,
um
that's true.
and then you talked about like customer service as well, and then we connected over sales because I'm in a pre-sales role as an engineer. Um, and I don't think a lot of people realize, especially newcomers, that understand the skills pre-sales role teaches you. And it sounds like you've gotten a piece of like your from each role in your journey, and then it's accumulated to all of that you're doing now, right? That you're able to wear many hats. I don't think what you do now is something anyone can come in and just sort of do it. You need some experience. So the purpose of our podcast here is to let the audience know, and I appreciate you for breaking down all the acronyms, by the way, because um, the worst thing we can do is assume people understand. We have a lot of newcomers watching this. But yeah, it's like a little pieces of the puzzles that make up your journey.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, JC in the chat. Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
learn it. And I think it's a lot of like you need the safe space around you and the right support system, which is what Raices tries to be. So
Hmm.
you can say, I want to learn it, right? And not get scared and like run away. Because there are some individuals that like to say, you need to come in with knowing everything. And that's not the culture we want to build here. So Filipi. That's your current role right now, but you do so much more. And I want to encourage the audience, we don't have to wait till the end. You can start posting questions anytime. We'll
Yeah, I'm looking the chat right now here,
go.
waiting for questions.
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
you have a shame, you can
Felipe,
put in the Q&A or chat, whatever you want, but just put in there. Let's talk.
like it's like a treasure. Like you open it and like there's so much knowledge coming out. So we can take this anywhere we want to. Because you do a lot. I mean, you're a professor too. Like you still teach, right? In Portugal?
Yeah. Yeah, I will have a this I should be like my day to teach is Thursday usually, like today, and usually started in 1 hour, I mean in 45 minutes. But today I'm not teaching because I divided with another professor. He
Okay,
shared with
nice.
the students the theoric part, and I'm the guy responsible for bringing the technical things, let's say, for the students.
Yeah, awesome. What do you teach right now? What type of classes? Class.
Yeah, now I'm teaching the IoT security. So basically, I'm
Oh,
responsible for bringing, yes, the guys how they can implementing the um, IoT security, how they can install the. I'm using the network simulator 3, so NES 3. So helping them how they can install. And as you said, like I'm came from sales, like because of that I love Raices because I had the opportunity to learn. I mean, I decided to move into the technical area. And why I love Raiz is because, for example, we went to RSA, as you mentioned in the beginning, and this year, last year, we were there. So it's opportunity to helping other people to get inside of cyber. And like me, I came to sales. I didn't know anything about, let's say technical things. And that's amazing because like when I go to the university to teach those students. So they are studying learning master degree. So some guys they have a basis about let's say IT, but other guys they came into the another area. It's completely different. How you can teach some guys, to building a proper network simulator, as I was explaining in S3, if they don't know any command in CLI, which is command line interface, the black window,
I mean the
what
Black Window, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mentioned in the podcast Black Window. Yeah, I that's
yeah.
the key. So that's interesting point about okay, how I can teach them. So I had I had this concern in my mind because this network simulator is in they this project is in C++, okay? And I just creating a proper script. I'm creating and teaching them how they can do this in Python script because Python is more easy to learn when you think about if you don't have any basis. So that's my concern about the students. I need to helping them to getting more knowledgement from that lesson, and that's the challenge. And for me, easy to learn that because not to learning, but to see that because I was from sales, so I know how difficult it is to learn, new, let's say, words or new things. And I keep in fighting against that because some people don't like me because of that, because they look, oh, that guy is not technical. Okay, is your thoughts.
Yeah.
My kids love me. My wife love me. So that's
It's
important for me.
I think that's like, why waste time telling others what they're not? We can all focus on what we do best and how we can improve. um, we don't have time for that energy, right? I think
Yeah,
the people normally what you will see is no, first of all, no one can know everything, right? You can develop domain expertise as you go, and I'm a generalist at what I do. We talked about it in the last episode. There's assumptions because what a SE does at different companies can look very different. You might be responsible for one thing, sell me this pen, right? And like implement the different use cases where you're going to use this pen. So there's like different
I
varieties.
prefer this pen here.
Gross. Oh yeah, you want to talk about that? Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's my.
What is that?
Can you see about the dragon? Do you see the
I did see
dragon?
your shirt. Yeah, I did see your shirt on
This is
Instagram.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also cute. It's because of Anna. Anna is responsible for rebranding everything
Oh,
about
I
Crossing
know.
Town. Yeah,
Julia too, right?
yeah. Julia is my marketing. If you don't know, Julia is my daughter. She's
Yeah.
the marketing girl about besides Porto and Crossing Town. Yeah,
She's
I founded
doing
this company by the
amazing.
way. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, let's talk about crossing tell a little bit because you do a lot, but what is the main mission behind crossing tell?
Yeah, basically we found a company, Anne and I, which is my wife again. We love to work together. Actually, we have a big
You can
company
edit
which
this up here
call
and be like, here's a picture of Anna.
yeah, she's going to
Oh,
some store right now. She's
yes.
buy I think the açaí, which is a
Yeah, of
specifically
course, yes.
food Brazilian food, let's say, and and yeah. So we found this company, and we have a kind of a goal with this company is to helping companies actually. First, this is the first, let's say, main
Pillar.
business perspective. Yeah, is to helping organization to cross actually to other countries actually is a go-to-market company is
Okay.
to spread this the let's say if a company is based on US they want to let's say grow in the expand the market in Europe they can hiring us or make a contract with us and we have a team responsible for deal with that so leading that and if the company is based in Europe, would like to open a business in Brazil, we have a team there to can build in that. This is the main first. So we have a let's say account managers, executive. We have a pre-sales. We have SDRs. We have a marketing team, and everything is behind of crossing town. This is one goal. The other is yes, we have a kind of different services that we can offer in that. So, but one of the things that I love, now helping to develop a new products, and I launched the Dragon Sack, which is inspired in this little cute dragon. We love Game of Thrones, and because of that, we decided to create this specifically mascot. And I launched the Dragon Sack, which is open source. So,
Yep,
and
I did see
probably it's a spoiler. No one's know that. It's just me and Yarisi. But probably we have another
it.
session
Yeah,
just to talk about talk
yeah,
about
sure.
Dragon Sack, which is open source and very nice to learn about statistical analysis tools, which is specifically tool that you can run in during the development code. Okay, so if you're a developer and you'd like to learn about developing things, you should developing things in a safe way, which is like, okay, what kind of or what kind of code is more safe to use? Or if I prepare the architecture, or if I put in secrets there, if I put in password, whatever. So when you develop those code, how you can building this in a safe way. So this is the main goal. If you put in the library inside of the code, this library is updated or not. So basically the Dragon Stack is to helping companies to do that. Open source, which is very
Okay.
cool. I announced that in the LinkedIn and one CTO at the company in France, I think, it's a big a company there. And it's a financial sector, not big company, is a financial company. It's this let's say high technical banks, like it's a startup bank, they don't have any agents. You know how this works? This is it's very common in Brazil. So it's a big bank, and they don't have agents there. And they came to me and they asked me for some feature. And I get okay, let me develop this for you. And they put in there this how they can scan in during the GitHub and GitLab. And said, I have these, you can do that. I will do that in the launch. And that's
Love it.
very
I mean, who says like you're not technical if you're contributing to open source, you're teaching classes, and you have a book out too, right? So,
Oh, that's true. Yes, yes. It's so many
want to talk about your
hats.
book?
That's
Give a little. That was new. I didn't even know about this, everyone. He
that was a
totally like posted
secret.
it last minute. I'm like, Come on, you got to give me an exclusive here.
No, I will have an exclusive to you during the
Ooh,
podcast here. I promise you.
ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this third-party risk management. It was very nice because I published the two articles last year about how some attackers they explore or use an identity to explore the financial sector in Brazil. I published two
Hmm.
articles about that, and basically they explore the supply chain involved with this attack. So we have specifically services in Brazil, which is very common in many countries, which is the instantaneous payment. For example, US, you have a Zelle, right? In
Yeah.
Brazil, we have a Pix, and in Portugal, we
Yes.
have a MBWay. It's basically names for the same thing. But in the end of the day, is a name of the company responsible for offering these service, and this services is connected with your bank account. So, and that's the interesting thing. So sometimes we think about supply chain. Sometimes
Hmm.
like a move, right? Move. Supply chain is a move. I go to the cinema to see the move. Like, but at the end of the day, supply chain is how many companies or service you have evolved for one single process.
Yeah.
So if I go to let's say the Amazon here to buy let's say a t-shirt, I
Yeah.
just press the button and then I will buy this. But I have here the cell phone. They will connect to the internet. They need to have the Apple payment or
Yeah.
whatever, or Zelle or Pix. They need to process this payment to send this money to the Amazon, and then Amazon will send it to another company. So, and the minimum have a three or four companies involved with that. This is a supply chain. So many companies involved in that process. And I just explained about that. And when you talk about TPRM, which is third party risk management,
Yeah.
this is about book. And it's not exactly too deeply book in terms of technical things. It's more like executive level. And I wrote this book with my friend Eric from Cisco. You know this company?
No, well, yeah, I might know thing about them. Oh my God, I had no idea. Maybe I should look
Yeah,
up the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
authors, the co-authors. Like, wow, I
Mhm,
know
that's
the
us.
DP. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
that's nice. But I have a spoiler to you.
Congratulations.
Let me just show you here. 1 second, guys. No one's no one's know about that. So you know that book here,
Yes,
which
yes,
is Mastering Reverse Engineer from
yes.
Reginald Reginald Wong, which is the first edition. And I received the invitation. This is a total spoiler. No one's know that.
Oh,
I will be
exclusive.
responsible, exclusive. I will be responsible for writing the second edition of that book.
Congratulations. Well, Felipe,
I'm not technical
how
guy,
does
but I
this
wrote.
happen? Tell us, like, what is the secret sauce? What's the recipe? Do you have to have like 20, 30 years of experience to get to this level? Is it like all the work you're doing, creating relationships, and do you put it out there? Do you put it out that this is my goal? I want to write a book, or do things just happen to you?
No, actually, I have this personal, you know, dream, let's say,
Mhm.
and but of course, so that's interesting point because if I look at my career, so I look at behind my shoulders, like if I think I start to talk in English, not talk, learning English was in
Yeah.
2016, man. Like it's uh, it's just few
Oh,
years ago. And I started speaking events in 2016. Actually, sorry, I started learning English in 2018.
18.
Yeah, 18 in the middle of the year. So I mean, almost in the end of the year in 18. I was in a bar. I don't know if I mentioned it with you
I don't
this
think
and
we
the
touched on the story now.
yeah, that's another history that I have. I was in the bar. I'm in the bar. Talk with the culture manager responsible for Brazil. With the name is Fabio Piccoli. It's a big friend of mine, and he was talking to me in the bar after after the job. So we are in the bar, drink some things, of course, soft drink in my case, and and I was drinking something, and at that time, Trend Micro had that training. They call it a CPI. C, CPTS, which is a certified professional in IT security. I forgot the I, but it's just like it's
Yeah.
acronym. And that program is responsible for bringing students uh, inside of the company to learn during 6 year, I'm sorry, 6 week learning about, things. 3 weeks focus on, making a training and making a certification of the program. And during the 6 week, in the end of the 6 week, Trend Micron hiring usually 4 or 5 people, and the others 20. It usually it's 25 students. They prepared more 20. In the end of the day, 20 professionals offering to the market. So they
Yeah.
started this program in Egypt, and after that we have a 3 or 4 uh, groups in Brazil. But I remember that time I was in that bar talking with Fabio, and Fabio came to me and he said, "Felipe, do you want to be one of the trainers of that program in Egypt?" And I said, "Wow, that's yeah, of course, my dream. Why not?" But he said to me, I would want to send to you to be there, but you don't speak English." And I said, "No, I can
Not
try. I don't know,
yet.
I can." And he asked me, "Can you do a training in English?" And I said, "I think I can." And he said, "No, you cannot do that."
Mm.
Like a punch in my face. So like,
Yeah.
really? And he said, "Yeah, you cannot do that." "Why you cannot do that?" He said. And I said, I don't know. And he said, "Why you didn't learn English? Why you should learn English?" And I said to him, "Yeah, I would, but I don't have the money to do that." And he said to me, "Okay, Trend Micro paid for me to learn English, but I will pay for myself for keeping doing classes. And in my place, I will put you in my spot, actually. I will put you in my spot, and the lessons that I should be doing for me, I will pay by myself, and I putting you in my spot." He offered me. He
That's
was the guy
amazing.
responsible for changing my life, actually.
Yeah.
And
Shout
then
out.
after that,
Shout out.
yeah, of course. And he is my friend right now. Always he's my friend.
We
And
cut this little clip and we send it to him. We appreciate
yeah,
people like you. We need more people like you.
exactly.
Let's be
Because no
people
one's
like
do.
him.
Yeah, exactly. He's amazing. Like Fabio Piccolo is the guy. He changed my life, actually. Because after that, I start to, let's say, talking. I started talking, I think 4 or 5, I mean, 6, maybe more. 8 months ago, I received an offer, and I made some interview in English, and I moved into Poland. He changed
That's
my
how
life,
it is.
basically.
Yeah.
So, and after that, of course, I was keeping challenge myself and to keeping moving forward. And I remember the first time that I was speaking in a conference in English, and
Yeah.
that's interesting for me because I don't care if we have just me and you talking here. It doesn't matter if you just one people or 5,000 people. For me, it doesn't matter because I remember my first day that I was speaking. I was very nervous to speak in English in a conference just
Which
for three
one was that?
people. 3 people watching me in the first talk in conference in English was very nice. Just 3 people.
Yeah, he's
It's
into
like a
it.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's for me, like it's just opportunity to share knowledge with someone, and someone spend the time to learn to teaching me. So I need to, bring it back to those guys. So that's in the end of the day, that's the
absolutely.
matter.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
have many
We
questions in
have
the.
some. Yeah, yeah, let's. Pedro is saying, I love how you saw a dream opportunity almost fade, but you chose to learn something new to make sure you could get there. Absolutely. I think that's with a lot of, I want to say, multilingual folks, right? I don't see it celebrated enough here in the US. Maybe it is a cultural thing, but there is a lot of resilience that comes with that. The fact that like our brains right now are operating not even for me, right? Not even our native language. Like that is crazy to think about. Okay, so first question, actually another comment from JC, another amazing leader for Raices. I love this. If you don't know it, you learn it. Doritza is asking, how do you do it all? Absolutely. I think I ask myself this every time I see him doing something new. How do you manage your time and context shift effectively while managing so many projects?
Yeah,
She has
that's a
the
good
same
question.
issue with you.
Yeah, yeah. We met on
She's
RSA
amazing.
this
Yeah.
this year. She's amazing. And actually, it's just possible because two specific reason. First of all, is my wife, and it's just because of her. She's always supported me. It's just because of her. And the second one
I
is
love
because of my
Anna.
kids. And it's here. She arrived. Yeah,
Oh, she's
and
back. Did she get her
he's
acai?
here. Yeah, she brought an acai, exactly. The kids are here as well. My kids, the twins is here in the office,
Aw.
and yeah, it's just because of them. Because if they don't support me, like if they didn't support me, would be impossible. In the end of the day, that's the thing. Like I try to do my best for them. In the end of the day, that's you saw me on B-Side Sport last year, so I was involved with the event, but in the end of the day, it's just because of them. I was
I'm wearing the
you are
shirt.
using the shirt of B-Side. It's cool. That's nice. I didn't know that. Yeah, cool. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's an interesting point about that Loritza mentioned. So the people ask me, so do you sleep? You go to bed? And I said, yeah, usually I go to bed and I spend time there like 7, 8 hours per day. And I said, oh, how is it possible? I'm just trying to organize my time, like if I need to do any task, for example, during 1 hour, I just try to focus on that hour, like if I need to do other activities or tasks during the 30 minutes, I need to focus on that activity 30 minutes. But of course, I'm getting old. Sometimes I forgot many things. I was talking about that with Anna today, and he was laughing to me and I said, yes, he's getting old. Yes, you forgot things. And I said, yeah, of course I forgot things. I'm getting old.
I don't know. Chic is getting younger. You might be getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So it is a support system. I will say that I before I attended Besides Porto, I knew Filipi, but I learned about Filipi in a different like scope. I saw a different side of him and the way the family support system was there. It was like this whole family affair, and it was just beautiful to see something like that happen, and the support system. And his brother was there too, like his daughter doing marketing. And yeah, go support guys. Besides Porto, they're on all socials. They're doing an amazing job. And that was your first time doing it, right? This is the second time this
Yeah.
June.
Yeah,
Um,
was very nice about the it's just a like last year was nice because after because I mentioned I was living in US for 5 months and after that I returned to live in Portugal because of my oldest son. He's 24 years right now, 24 years old, and he has autism. But because of he's an adult, he cannot be behind on my work visa in US. So based on that, we decide to be together as a family. Because of that, we return to live in Portugal again. So after to decide to return to live in Portugal, I talked with those guys in besides US and the leadership. It's basically Jack. And I was talking to Jack and I said, man, I'm living here in Porto. I would like to organize the Besides Porto. And he talked with the previous organizers and they said, okay, we don't have a time to leading that. You can shift it to Felipe. And I decided to organize and I just published, okay, I'm the new organizer and leader. Let's do this. And I'm expecting to organize the first edition this year. That was my expectation at that time. So when I published this and on socials, the guys came to me and said, "Okay, let's do this year." Then I said, "Why not?" And we decided to organize the B-Side Sport last year, and we just had a 3 month to organize the event, and we make this happen. Definitely
no,
organized was
it was very
500
successful.
people. Yeah, 500 people. You saw that was crazy and
Yeah.
very human event. Like every people,
Very, very. But I think also like I love my Brazilian people. I'm gonna do you justice and learn Portuguese just to talk to you all in your own language. But amazing talent out of Portugal and also Brazil was very, very well represented there. But it was an international crowd. I met people. That's what I love about B-sides in Europe. You always find people from different places.
Mhm.
I met friends from Norway, Germany,
Yeah,
Italy.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Netherlands,
uh,
Israel, many, many
and
countries.
Cat too from besides Chicago. Like, what a small world. Never know
She
what you're
came
gonna
this year
get.
again. Yes, she's moved to Portugal right now, but
Yeah, shout out
she's
to
be
Cat.
there.
Another person doing
Yeah.
a lot. But to quickly answer the question, I think when there's a lot of passion behind, and it's you are a mission-driven person, a lot of things fall into place, and a lot of the things you're doing overlap. So that combined with time management because I get that question a lot. How do you do so much? A lot of the goals overlap. So it's about how you structure your time and then who you have behind you to support in other aspects of your life as well. Next question we have from JC. Felipe, you work at the intersection of learning, security, and emerging tech. How is AI changing not just what we learn, but how we learn together? Follow what does a great learning, oh, it's a follow-up. What does a great learning community look like in that future? Yeah, the dreaded AI question. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
dread. Yeah, how is that changing everything for you?
Yeah, and actually, that's as interesting. I was talking with before this webinar. I was talking with a customer in Brazil, in south of Brazil, about the AI, and he said, I don't believe it too much in AI about testing, automated testing in AI. I think I need to be a person, running that. And actually, AI is not. I mean, is not the future. AI is the past because the present is agentic AI. So if you remember in the RSA, everything is about agentic
Yeah,
AI, like
agentic.
the
Yeah, yeah,
agenting. Exactly. And the end of the day, so like the AI can help us in many things. For some reasons, they are helping us for productivity to working better, like to organizing taskings and everything is good to use. I mean, but you need to be more, let's say, I mean, in terms of AI, I think you need to be more critical in some things. It's not to believe 100%. I think this is a kind of characteristic that there are for Brazilian people. They like to be more creative in terms of many things. You heard about that. Probably you hear many things about Brazilian
you
guys is
guys
very
are
creative.
creative, yes.
There are many, let's say, memes. We call memes in Brazil. I don't know in English this word.
Yeah,
Is it
memes.
the
Yeah,
same?
yeah,
Memes.
memes.
Okay, yeah. There are a bunch of memes because of
Now
Brazilian
then you
people.
say
They are,
meme. So
yeah, man, exactly. And I remember I was talking with some guys in some meeting in US, and they came in. They said for some reason, talking about specifically CLI, CLI, command line interface, and they said, yeah, that's the word, command line interface or CLI. And one guy said, yeah, but sometimes I heard someone talk about CLI, and I said, it's a Brazilian guy. Forgot about CLI is Brazilian. And they said, yeah, it's Brazilian. So we have a kind of this type of thing. So and I think when you think about AI, like if you're using your creativity, it will be better because AI definitely will help you in many things to help you. Because imagine you are researching. In the past, you go to the Google and type the what questions you have, and you need to wait in this kind of machine or the engine running behind of Google. So nowadays you have the Gemini working there and to helping you, and they suggest to you what kind of questions you can do after, just to keep in doing the same questions. And for some reasons, some more administrative works, it will be more fast to getting results. But of course, for us has a cybersecurity guys, and it will
yeah,
be nice because we keeping heavy jobs. Why? Because we will see many. Uh, it's not a good word, but many.
in Spanish
I
or
can.
it in Spanish.
No, 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 no.
It's just
It's
working.
it's a bad
I know.
word. I know the
I
word
know.
in English, but it's
I
a
don't
bad
know.
word. Yeah.
See,
So they are
we're not
keeping
sponsored
doing
here, so.
they are keeping doing wrong things in double quotes. Wrong is a good, but it's wrong things. Let's say
Mm,
putting
yeah, yeah.
private, like putting private informations, PII, other things. So and that's the key.
I don't say like everything in moderation. It's not so much moderation. I think for me, personal productivity has skyrocketed. Oh, I have projects and I've been using Claude before it got popular, just to put it out there. That's my preferred one. But just for personal productivity, I have projects on all the different
Me
nonprofit
too.
goals. Yeah, see? Because,
Claude, yeah.
we
That's
know
it's
where the good vibes are.
yeah. Sorry for interrupt you, but
It's
like
good.
this is a very nice drive that we have inside because we have this board membership, let's say, driving us to using AI in many things, to supporting us, to helping us in many ways. Not only tech guys developing things, but the sales guy as well. Because there are many things to do and using, for example, Claude. And then there are a bunch of AIs, of course. You just need to care about the privacy in the end of the day.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's very useful.
I think there's that like you need that healthy discernment as a person to say where is my limit, right? Like where like that you can do so much with it, but sometimes you have to kind of like hold back and put like judge should this be put on there or not, right? Everything you put out there, it's always
Yeah,
trades back. Yeah.
that's
So
that's a good point
I
because technically speaking about the for job, okay, like I don't like the people that decide to put in other people's outside and prefer just to chat with AI. Like, I'm not feeling good today. What do you think about my life? So talk
yeah,
with people.
yeah. Talk with
So
us.
that's
We'll talk.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I was gonna say like for example, like I built like SOP, standard operating procedure for I know because my commitments are growing for one of my nonprofits. I'm trying to build the next person up that will take over. So all the marketing strategy that goes behind that, I'm putting it in one document. I'm using
Mhm.
AI to do that and a blueprint to guide the volunteering team. So like that is something that would have taken me probably more hours if I just did it by myself. Okay, let's see what other questions. At some point, Pedro said, I appreciate the mindset of seeing value of others beyond technical training. Yes, I've bounced industries and have had mentors at every step. I've thrived thanks to them seeing what I can bring after being taught the ropes. Exactly. Sometimes, and then at some point, something reminded him of the Target data breach from 2013. I
Yeah.
will say it's what do they say about great like success comes when hard work but also luck. You still have to put in the hard work and show up
Yeah.
prepared because
Yeah, I saw
someone
that
is gonna
Mhm.
take a liking to you, and like but you have to like put the hard work to and show up like that. And a lot of friends that I have that are super successful is because like someone took a liking to them. Doesn't
Mhm.
mean that they didn't work hard, but they met the right people, right support system, and then their careers took off. So,
Yeah, that's I heard something in the past when I was working at Micro about we need to working very hard, as you said, and you need to have it's not a lucky, but they put in like data percentage about hard work, opportunity, and another intersection which is lucky. And I said, I don't know if you believe, but he explained to me again, and I said, so maybe makes sense because they call lucky is like opportunity. So you need to be prepared when this kind of lucky, you know, shows to you. Imagine, I remember in the past, I had the opportunity to make some interviews in English, and I just failed because I didn't speak English. So after that came the opportunity again to try, and I was speaking. So it's a kind of luck, but I was prepared. In the end of the day,
yeah,
I
yeah,
need to
yeah, yeah.
work hard, but I need to be prepared. Like,
Right, right. Nothing gets handed to you, all right? I don't think like I most people the reason we do what we do with Raices is we started because we wanted to serve underrepresented communities, underserved communities. And I joked about this with Yaris. I said, I want to build an ethical nepotism network because in corporate, what I run into a lot is, friends who have family members that help them out a little bit, get traction in the corporate world, understand how things are structured. But for a lot of immigrants or folks that don't have that layer of support, it can be hard, right? So how do you find the people to translate those things for you? And sometimes it's people through networks like this, like Raices. Um, so
yeah,
yeah, Pedro, one more comment from someone who's, I think we touched on this earlier, from someone who's coming from a different industry and learning. What industry are you coming from, Pedro? Learning from the basics, what would you recommend to learn to use AI or how it works? Even agentic AI, since it's been mentioned so much that people have to start integrating AI or working with it to stay relevant in tech or cyber. Pedro, I would love to give you like for us to give you a more specific answer. So if you want to like share with us what your background is and what type of experience they have and where you want to go, that would be even better. But I think we can deliver some sort of general advice here.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I received, it's not exactly or comment or similar questions or like in the beginning of March, I was speaking event in south of Brazil. The event's called Secop Summit. I was keynote there and was participating in the podcast. There was, recording the podcast, and they came the similar observation. And I mean, it's not exactly the same observation, but the main question was about if the some jobs they can, let's say, go out, like or don't have more, like more not too much more developers or opportunity for other guys because of AI. And in the end of the day, I mentioned something about learning the basis about AI because this is interesting. So we can do whatever you imagine for AI, asking to them like, oh, how is the day? How is the weather today? How is how I should approach a girl? How I should approach a man? Whatever. But you can ask, okay, how I can learn in Python? How I can learn about base about cyber, how I'm graduated in biology, how I can get inside of cyber using my knowledge in biology. Like this is kind of question. So what kind of steps I can try to learn and be when you put in the prompt there, you can put in like how I can move into this new field and using my background, but bring me the real scenario. And they can in the AI can bring it to you based on all information experience that they have. And that's the kind of questions and kind of learning that you can bring for the AI. And I mentioned on the podcast, and I think some kind of school, or let's say school basis, school basis is not the correct word, but like the
Education, some sort of
yeah,
education.
sort of educations, exactly. School
However,
educations,
whatever
they
form, like we're not saying you need to have your
exactly,
degree, right?
exactly. You can, let's say, how much it cost to make a less, or to pay to this education place, for example. I don't know, 200 US dollars. So if you pay like $100 for AI, they can teach you.
So,
Okay, but in my way, sorry?
go ahead, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, no, like I'm just comparing. For example, imagine you need to spend, let's say, $200
Yeah.
for education school. I mean, to let's say the basis of cyber, for example. And there are a bunch of schools offering course, and sometimes you can spend less than a half. For example, you can just pay a premium, pricing for AI, and they can teach you. Of course, that I know that it depends. Okay, some people can, and I don't learn about AI. I like to talk with people. So you should pay $200. Let's make it's the way that
Yeah.
you can learn. For
It's your
example, I like.
opportunity cost, we call it, right? Like, how
Mm-hmm,
much is your time worth to you? How much is
mm-hmm.
for putting
Yeah,
aside
exactly.
doing your job but doing something else? So Pedro is saying he came from logistics tracking. Wow, okay, I love that. And there, before that, healthcare. Currently in school to get bachelor's in cyber in August. As in you're graduating in August, I would like to go into incidents response. If you haven't checked out the episode from Lori Rodriguez yet, that's the first one we opened up with. She's in incidents response, another great friend of Raices family. So go watch her episode as well. And he's saying this is why I chose incidents response. My background mainly in healthcare helped me deal with emergencies and remediate and
That
rehab.
makes sense. Totally.
I
That's
figured
the
this and
mindset.
translated. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You
Yes,
are
I'm
prepared.
excited. Yeah,
You can teach
exactly.
people the mentality, right? But you can
Yeah,
teach
this
them,
is this exactly. This is strong. This is your training in terms of
yeah,
concept. And the
find your
people says,
strength and go fully into like what your
yeah, that's excited. I'm excited to know that
yeah.
because like Pedro could, let's suppose, go in another directions like,
Mhm.
oh man, I don't have an experience. I'm just from logistic, like trucking or even healthcare. How I can work in cyber? It's very difficult. No, the mindset is different. So you have an experience in healthcare, they can use in this for instant response. That's amazing. And by the way, I have a curiosity with the people that are watching us if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can put in what kind of country they are, like is
Oh
from,
my God,
or if they are
yes, yes.
like if it's or if they are original from, like my case, I'm Brazilian, but I'm living in
Albania in the
Portugal.
house. Yeah.
You see
But
that?
in the US, yeah.
Yeah, and she speaks Spanish as well.
Y si hablamos español, Boricua, okay. South West Florida.
Ah,
Hmm.
West Florida. That's cool. Yeah. So West Florida, West Florida.
I
Oh,
bet you
okay.
we don't have Mexicano, okay? If I
Ah,
can, they say saying if I can work in cyber, anyone can. I say, I've said that statement many times. Spanish first, and I say that really mainly to inspire people that there's so many paths. That's why we created this podcast. Not everyone
yeah.
needs to go be a pen tester. Please don't.
Yeah.
Or not
Yeah,
everyone
we
wants,
know.
needs to go into GRC. I mean, you can go into like supply chain specifically. Um, which actually what made me when Pedro said the logistics part, I'm like, oh, have you looked into supply chain? But they
Mm-hmm.
said Spanish is his first language, Texas representing San Antonio. República Dominicana, okay, USA grew up in a town bordering Mexico, Maryland, Mexican American, Texas, uh, from Puerto Rico, living in Massachusetts. Oh, Lori is
Yeah.
in sales. I mean, she has a bunch of sales back experience.
Lottie, you are smart than me because sales, you can find the money in all
She
technical area.
is a hustler. I'll tell you, she worked that RSA floor like no one else did. But that's the thing about us, though. Like, and when I say us, I mean folks who might be immigrants speaking different languages they don't work in their home country. We take the opportunities and we maximize the heck out of it. Like that is our strength. So I want you all to go explore what your strength is, but at the same time don't forget that this is like another huge pillar of like your life and your resiliency. And I mean cybersecurity is about resilience, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
we understand people too very well. So we give benefit of the doubt. We want to hear others' perspectives. Um, Sometimes we get invited to tables that others can because we might speak a different language, right? So that is another
Mm-hmm.
asset. So I know we have like 8 minutes left. I want to maximize those minutes. If we have more questions about Filipi, this is your time. Don't have to be tech career related. They can be, I don't know, maybe certification, hands-on lab being advised that you need, community related things. Filipi does a lot with DEF CON, Black Hat. Do you want to talk a little bit about your villages that you have? Which ones
Yes,
are you involved
actually,
with? Where,
I'm yeah, I'm part of the Red Team Village. I'm director of the sponsor. And if you'd like to sponsor Red Team Village, woo, talk to me.
how much money
And
do you all need?
yeah, we needed for supporting the village. It was very nice, the Red Team Village, and I was speaking for last 5 years, every single year. And it last year was I was surprised because the topic that I spoke there was more like focus on PDF and exploitation, and I was expecting like I was expecting not seeing too much people, but it was very crowded people there. It was very exciting, and I will be there, like involved with the Red Team Village. I will be probably speaking at Adversary Village as well, and I submit for other villages like Cloud
Wer-
Village and the others.
Weren't you, was it top 1 or top 3% in the achievement you got last year from speaking at so many conferences? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's when you submit for call for
Mm-hmm.
participation, and I saw you had
Mm-hmm.
shared something about
Ah,
top because you've spoken at so many conferences.
yeah, and it's
He
sessionizer.
forgets,
Yeah.
look, he forgets his own achievements because he keeps doing
Yeah,
things.
that's I didn't imagine that. I just received a mail from the guys and they said I was top 3% or 3%, I mean, and I said, wow, which is a huge number. And I received the stamp there, which is very nice. Because yeah, there are a bunch of events that I like to share. And I like to share sometimes the perspective. And the people came to me and they said, okay, it's the same talk. And that in usually uh, it's a kind of similar talk. Like, for example, I wrote two articles right now. One was published, as I said, APT 28, and I submitted for besides Las Vegas, and I submit for some village as well. But I wrote another article focused on JavaScript and specifically Dropper using a technique. And I didn't publish in no one place right now, but I will publish probably next week, I think. And I'm trying to bring for different, village, different perspective and how can approach those research, and based on that, I have many content because I'm like a sales guy. I'm trying to think, okay, what is the main goal here in that perspective and that village, for example, anniversary? I should explain more about how I can emulate things. So if I think about red team, so how I can create this for the red teamer guy. So how this attack can be approached for cloud environment, and this is approach for cloud village, for example. And I was speaking before this webinar with the guys from Malware Village, which is the should be the main goal of the. No, I made the malware analysis, so this should be the only village. But how I can using this in different approach. So that's
Yeah.
in the end of the day how I can translate things, and because of that, I achieved that result, that goal, that achieved the result, the number.
Congratulations. So what I'm trying to tell you all is that he's a very seasoned speaker and we can all learn from him. By the way, saying which current projects do you care most about? Not the one you spend the most time on, but the one you value the most. I think I know what I'm
Oh,
gonna say, but I'm gonna let him.
what do you think? What is the thing?
Well, I
Oh,
have
the
a little bit
most.
of a philosophical answer. I feel like you're gonna say like I don't know how to put it, but like your family and yeah.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right. And like it's unfair for other people to compare or other projects to compare, because of course I like it to be involved with DevCon or Raices, another project. But at the end of the day, um, the only thing that I care is my family. Like uh, the awards that I can receive is just for my wife and my kids. Because of what I said, like for me, it doesn't matter if I'm talking for one people or for, 10,000 people. Like I will do my best always for one people or for like, let's, as I said, 10,000 people. Because I just want to be like, I want to see in the eyes of my kids and my wife, they are feeling proud of me. That's my main project, actually. Because of that, I decided to, let's say, when we move into the US, my oldest son is not there. So a piece of, part of our family is not there. So there is no reason to keep in living there. The family needs to be together. But it's the American dream. It's keeping there. So let me moving to Portugal and I keeping living this American dreams, which is family dream. In the end of the day, that's the matter. And of course, I know that Pedro would like to see more about maybe some technical things. But if I talk about technical things, my second project, which is the Cross Intel, that I family project building that we are doing together, and there are a bunch of things behind of this, which is DragonSec, and I have two others MVP projects that I'm working on. So that kind of things good to come.
Dragon's Facebook.
DragonSec, yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
love
Facebook.
Portuguese. I love it. I love it. Okay, one more question. This is the last one. What advice would you give your younger self when you started your career? It's a little bit of a loaded question, but you can keep it simple, I think.
Yeah, I think it's I was looking to the questions, and I think the only advice is to keep your faith always in Jesus, and enjoy every step you are doing. And I think that was my advice for myself when I was younger. So I just doing the same. I will not change anything in my career or even in my life. Like I just keeping my faith in Jesus, and because I know how it's hard for many people. I know that's kind of philosophic, but like I'm the gospel guy. Like I play in the church and I play instruments, and I think because of that I like to talk with people because I was in front of the church. Like playing things, leading young people when I was not today, but in the past I was leading kind of church in Brazil. Like I'm very familiar with that. I was a hip hop dancer in the past. No one's know that, but I was.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, we need another
yeah.
episode. Like I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I was involved with a theater, like in the church. So I'm very involved. I was involved in the past, so like because of that, I think I like to talk peoples, and it's make my life more easier because of that.
Yeah, I love that. Oh wow, they need a video. I don't know if you have receipts and you want to share, but
Did you see
uh,
my? Did you see my balance in on Instagram yesterday? That's because
I
of I
did
was
see
a
that.
dancer.
I was gonna reply and say, is this Julia's idea? Did
No, it's
she?
mine.
Oh, okay.
I was first I talked to Anna because I was in my bedroom and I talked to Anna just record me and I tried to sing it I start to dance like but after that I just put in the song and that's it.
Yeah, it was cool. And where can they find you, right? Like I know Dirsa said he wants to connect. I know you're all over LinkedIn, other platforms you want to mention before we wrap it up here.
Yeah, they can find me. It's much better to go to filipipires.com, which is Filipi, many eyes, because of my father. He created this amazing name, Filipi, which is Filipi, Pires, which is Pires, or Pyrus in
Never
English,
heard
but
of it.
it's yes.com. It's every talks are there. There are kind of, let's say, playlists of my talks in many countries. There are a bunch of articles, and all my socials are there. And DragonSec are there, and Facebook are there. The link.
Look at I am dying. This is hilarious. This is why Brazil, Portugal, when they're in the house, it's gonna be a good episode. Thank you so much. Obrigada, Felipe. And we're gonna see each other next in besides Porto, no?
Yes, for sure.
June, what is it? June
Thank you again.
26, 27?
Yes, the event will be in June 26th and 27th, and we expect to have 700 people here. And we have confirmed people from Florida, from
Chicago.
Chicago, from from I guess I'm trying to get some guys from Israel, and we have a very nice speakers. I invited two guys to be keynote speakers from the AFCON, of course, and yeah, so we are very excited because we have a very nice sponsors right now. They are engaged with us. We lost some sponsors because if you can spread the message, try to supporting us would be very nice. But we are very nice badge for this year. We put in the NFC, and
I
we have a
love the
very
badge last year.
oh yes, it was kind of different, or
Yeah,
because it was
we
for
love different.
Portuguese. Yeah, and this year will be very nice because that event will be in the very cool event in Portugal, which is São João party. We call that. We have a fireworks in the bridge. Will be very nice, and with the proper badge will be involved with that idea.
Okay, so if you can make a little vacation out of it, is what he's trying to say. Um, and then,
Exactly.
well, yeah, hopefully we'll see more of you in Besides Porto. Just don't think you have to speak Portuguese to go. I manage just fine. And
Yeah.
yeah, are you looking for volunteers? Is that
Always.
later?
It's keeping open. Yeah, we have a bunch of we have a call for paper is still opened, call for village, call for
Oh,
workshops, and call
papers,
for
perfect.
volunteers. It's keeping open. Yeah, I think we have a few days more. I think it's more like 10 days. And our crew was very nice
Yeah, they
and
they
easy.
are.
They are
Yeah.
very nice.
Yes. I loved working with the whole family.
Yeah.
Not only, it was more than family,
Yeah.
but thank you so much. Obrigada, Felipe. And follow up with him, follow him on LinkedIn, connect, and if you have more questions. But yeah, keep inspiring and doing what you do best.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time again and for make this very cool. See you guys. Bye bye.
See you.